Good evening, everyone. It's Miss Council coming back at you again with another tidbit, topic tip of wisdom for you. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to join us. Hope you've had a wonderful Monday, a productive Monday. Today is June 15th. I see you, baby brother. First one on. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, girl, hey. My girl Rosa is back. I'm gonna have Rosa on one day. She's a therapist. I'm gonna have her on one day, and she's going to join me live on a topic coming soon. So look out for that. Hey, Christy, I see you're on. Got my fam, got my peeps on. Everybody's my family. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Today is Monday, June 15th. It's the middle of the month, y'all. It'll be July before we know it, and then they'll force the Christmas stuff on us, right? Christmas in July. Hey, big brother. I see you are on too, Terry. Hey, sis. Thank you all so much for joining. I like seeing those hearts. I like seeing those thumbs up, those likes. I like the funny faces. Don't put no angry faces. Just tell me what you feel. Tell me how you feel. Just put it in your comments. I am Miss Council, and I like to interact with my audience. Any thoughts you have to share, you know me. I'm going to read it aloud. Please make sure you are sharing, liking this video, sharing it with your friends. Some my topics are for people who are single, people who are divorced, people who are married. Hey, dearie, I see your own cousin. All right, always happy to see new people joining us. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Again, please like, share, and post. Thank you all for your watch parties that you've created. Our audience is growing. Just continue to share it with people who can get a good word out of it. So let me introduce myself just in case you don't know. I am Miss Council, MISS Council. I am a life coach, and I work with women who are divorced and also those who are on their second marriages. So just want to give my background again. I've talked to you a lot of the past 3 weeks, and I appreciate everybody from joining, jumping in there, for watching the videos even after. I know some of you reach out to me and say, hey, I can't join at 8 o'clock, but you've watched the videos, you've given me a feedback, and I appreciate it. Please make sure, as I'm talking, if you have comments, please don't hesitate to comment. I appreciate everybody for continuing to join me. I also have a group for divorced women called Divorced Like Us. Now, I have to say divorced women, because if you're not a divorced woman in that particular group, it may not be things that are going to benefit you. We know here when we chat on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm talking about a variety of topics that applies to some everybody, right? But my goal for that group is to work with women who are divorced and on their second marriages. Because guess what? I'm on my second marriage. I was divorced. I married young at age 22, had a baby, was married for about 6 years and got divorced. I was single for about 12 years, and here I am, married again. Hey, I got my Sora on. Hey, Yvonne. Good to see you on with us this evening. We got some professionals in the house. So thank you all so much for joining me. And so what I like to do is a recap. I like to do a recap of the last topic that we had. And so last Thursday, I talked about divorce and the toll that it takes on you. We go through a lot of things when we get divorced, stress being one of the big things, but also learning to have a new normal, creating a different support system than what we had before. So we talked about some of those obstacles, and I shared a quote from Jay Shetty. When nobody else celebrates you, learn to celebrate yourself. And the quote was a little bit longer, but if you want to hear the whole quote, go back to last Thursday's video. But it talked about encouraging yourself. And I always talk about happiness being something that's within you. You know, what does your happiness look like? You have to identify that for yourself. And that happiness is within you. Even though I love my husband, my happiness is not found in him, it's within me. He can do things to make me happy, but I have to find that within myself. So I gave some tips at the end of the video, which I always do. And it was happiness is within you. You have to define what that is. You have to get comfortable with you. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go back to that last video. But you set some goals in your life and work to achieve them. And then also go to therapy. I know my therapists are on here. They like hearing that because there's such a negative stigma surrounding therapy, especially in the Black community. So I agree with it. I say do it. I say go. They're professionals and they can certainly help. I see that heart from Rosa. Yeah, therapy, it works. And I'm an advocate for it. So what are we talking about today? Intimacy in relationships. I'm talking about in your situationship, in your marriage. I'm talking about intimacy today. And thanks again to one of our viewers for this wonderful topic. I love getting suggestions. So shoot me suggestions. You can put them in the comments here. Anything that I say, you have a comment on it, you have a statement to make, please share it. Please post here. I encourage audience participation. I'm giving out gold stars tonight for audience participation. But talking about intimacy in a relationship. First, I want to say that intimacy is more than just sex. One more time for the people in the back. Intimacy is more than just sex. Let me define it for you. I like to, when I give a definition, to go here and there to pull in what it actually means so that I can put it in different terms so that everybody gets what I'm talking about. So it's close familiarity or friendship, a togetherness, vulnerability, openness, sharing. That's what intimacy is. Remember, I said intimacy is more than just sex. It's more than sex. So in talking about intimacy, I like to do my research. You know, I like to go read things. I read different articles. Sometimes I bring you guys quotes. I always have stories to tell. But here I want to talk about intimacy because I want to make sure that you leave with some tips on enhancing intimacy in your relationship, restoring it in your relationship. So, 4 types of intimacy, and my source is a website called Good Therapy. Therapy, there it is. Go to therapy. Hey, Shy, I see you're on with us as well. So, here are the 4 different types, and I'll just give you kind of a brief breakdown as to what they are. Experiential, that's bonding during a leisure activity. Syncing with one another. So, for example, we're putting together a puzzle together. That's a bonding activity. We're taking a walk, maybe for fitness, but that's an activity, a leisure activity. Or maybe we're getting some things done around the house, or we're painting a room together, but it's something that's being done with another person. So the second type of intimacy is emotional. It's a safe place where we can share our feelings, even ones that are not comfortable. So I talked about that before. You know, you got to be able to have these conversations with your significant other, even when they're not things that you really want to talk about. You don't want to shake the apple cart. You don't really want to say, hey, everything's going good, but I need to address this. But that's what emotional intimacy is, having that safe space so that you can have that conversation. The next type is intellectual. Now, intellectual is being able to share thoughts, even if there's a disagreement. You actually want to hear that other person's opinion and how they feel about it. And then the 4th type is sexual. That's the one that we think of most, I think, when we talk about intimacy, when the word just comes to mind. Engaging in sensual activity. Knowing the sexual desires of your partner, your mate, and how they like to be touched, how they like to be engaged. Hey, SB, I see you're here too. So those are the 4 different types: experiential, emotional, intellectual, and sexual intimacy. Remember, I said intimacy is more than just sex. So people view intimacy in different ways. And so, like I keep saying, intimacy is more than just sex. So I in my research I see that they talk about how men view it and how women view it, but I don't think that we can really assign gender to how people feel necessarily. So I'll just talk about two different ways that people view intimacy. And hey, I want to see your comments. Share in the comments what you think about intimacy. What do you think that it is when you hear that word? And so and I'll read your comments in just a moment. So intimacy is a way that we feel close to our mates. Like when we talk, when we touch, when we share, um, we learn about each other, and that is something that it takes some time to develop in a relationship. And then a little bit, I'm going to talk about different levels of intimacy, um, and so that'll make a little bit more sense. But then also, there's another view of intimacy, and that's the one that's sometimes confused with sex. So remember, I said that intimacy was a close friendship, togetherness, vulnerability, openness, being able to share openly. But again, some people think intimacy is just sex. So you can be sexual without being intimate. You can. I mean, let's just be honest. You definitely can. I want to know your thoughts about that. I know we have some men in the group too. Tell me what your thoughts are about that. Hey Jay, I see you joining us. So let me know, what do you guys think about that? That statement. You could be sexual without being intimate. Bless you. My dog Gabriella, she's always somewhere near, so she's sneezing. um, so some people use sex as a way to express love. So what do you guys think about that? Some people do equate sex and love as the same thing. Like, oh, I'm showing them that I love them by having sex with them. Whereas, um, if sex was removed from the equation, my question is, would there still be love? Would that love be unconditional? So if sex is equated with love, then if that is removed, does that mean that there's no love? So again, intimacy is more than just sex. I see we've got some comments. Absolutely. Hey, puppy. Rosa said, hey. True. I believe most people do. Nope. Uh-oh. Rosa said, nope. Rosa, I want you to elaborate on that. um, Jay says, I've heard that you can be intimate without being sexual. Exactly. Um, she says, I've never heard it said the other way around. Interesting. Okay. But intimacy is more than just sex. I'm gonna keep saying that intimacy is more than just sex. So let's talk about people who have a fear of intimacy. Before I get to the different types, there are people who have a fear of intimacy, and there are several different reasons. What are some of the reasons? I'm gonna give you four, but what are some of the reasons why you think that people would fear intimacy? And remember, intimacy means being close, friendship, togetherness, being vulnerable. Why would people fear that or want to avoid that? One of the reasons is abandonment. Of course, the list can be very long, but if you've had issues before with people, breaking it off with you once you've become vulnerable and opened up and had feelings for them, that could cause a person not to want to be vulnerable and open and share and be ultimately intimate, right? Rejection. Sometimes it's I like her and he doesn't like me. But that it's not a mutual relationship. So one person feels one way and the other person doesn't. All right, Christy said that person doesn't want to commit. That's a possibility. Oh, so Rosa's comment is, I believe people try to push sexual relationships to feel love but forget the rest. Because they equate sex and love. So they're trying to, like I said, they're trying to push those sexual relationships so they can move further along in the level of intimacy. Um, ah, Rodney says fear of getting close to someone. That's right, the rejection. And then also some people talk about the loss of independence. If you open yourself up to someone, that means that you are not going to be able to do things the way you want to do. You're not going to be able to, like, I like hanging out with my friends. Like, they have think that they have to change something about themselves to fit into a mold, possibly. Um, that their mate or that person that they're in a relationship with, partner, wants them to fit in. And then also there are past hurts. Some, hey, there's that some emotional baggage, or they fear opening up because something has happened when they opened up to someone in the past. So that's some of the highlights of why people fear intimacy. Again, intimacy being, you're being vulnerable and you're being open. um, you're opening your heart and allowing someone in. So let's talk about those 5 different levels of intimacy. I've kind of alluded to those a few times already. So the 5 levels of intimacy. Number one is safe communication. And that's the lowest level. I'm going to give you the lowest to the highest. So one is the lowest level, safe communication. That's an exchange of acts, no feelings. I'm sorry, you're just exchanging facts, no feelings. Hey, I'm a project manager. I have 1 kid, 2 dogs. I'm one of 4 children. So you're just giving them basic information. That's intimacy at its lowest level. That's level one. Then level two is others' opinions and beliefs. So that's when we're starting to reveal more information about ourselves. Remember at level one, I said it was the lowest level and we ain't giving them nothing. We ain't telling them nothing at all about ourselves, but we're opening up more and starting to share about ourselves through associations. Like for example, like, oh, my mama always says this, or my favorite author is, or they're sharing more detail about themselves that's not general information. Um, Level three, so we're moving up. So level three is where it's a level where personal opinions and beliefs come in. So that's when you're going to start sharing your own thoughts. You might start talking about politics, but you're still kind of treading carefully. You may start talking about religion. You may start talking about your faith. You may start having those type of discussions, but you're still treading carefully. I don't want to be too vulnerable. I don't really want to let them in, but I want to put my foot in, prop the door open just a little bit. Anybody ever prop the door open just a little bit to let a person in? Just kind of leave the door open so if you want to shut it back again. I've done that. So you don't want to feel too vulnerable. That's at level three. But then level four is when um, your feelings um, your feelings and experiences level. And so that's when you're going to talk about your past. That's when you're starting to share more about yourself. When I was a child, I fell off my bike, so I don't like to ride bikes anymore. And I screwed up my knee, and everybody in the neighborhood laughed. That didn't really happen to me, but but I'm just saying you're starting to share more about yourself. You're starting to share your past mistakes, your regrets. You're sharing your goals, your dreams with that person. Now, noticing that, remember at level one we were telling nothing. We weren't even telling what we share on Facebook, right? So we were not being vulnerable at all. No feelings were involved, general information. But now we're starting to share more information about ourselves. And then in level five of intimacy, this is the highest level of intimacy. So here is when your needs, emotions, and desires are coming out. And so this is the level that requires the most trust. This is the highest level. That means the wall has come down. I look at the 5 levels as, here's the wall, and it's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down. So now the wall has come down, and this allows a person in a relationship, a situationship, to see who you truly are. And this is where that unconditional love is felt, and it has developed because you're able to open up completely, and there's nothing that's really off limits. You're sharing. That person's telling you about them. It's the storytelling. You're learning about them. Oh, I went whitewater rafting one time and I enjoyed it. Or that person was like, no, I didn't enjoy it because I escaped with my life and I never do it again. I'm terrified of it, but you're really starting to share more intimate details about yourself. So those are the levels of intimacy. I think what ends up happening is when we're talking about sex versus intimacy, remember I was saying that intimacy is more than just sex. I believe that people start having sex probably more so at level three, and level three being where you're starting to share your own thoughts, but you're still treading carefully. And like Rosa said earlier, Rosa was saying that people push for sexual relationships to feel love. So they want the feeling of level five of intimacy, but they're really at level three where they're not wanting to really be that vulnerable. Um, so that's important to point out. So like I said, people do it, and I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying that I believe that people are at level three, but they want it to feel like level five. They want to feel like it's unconditional love, and that's probably why people equate sex with love. So remember what I said in the beginning: intimacy is more than just sex. So in saying that, um, intimacy is about meeting your partner where they are. You know, people may have possibly had other relationships prior to, and what one person likes is not going to be the same. We have several people here on this live right now, and if I went through and asked everybody what toppings they wanted on their pizza or what's their favorite dessert, we'd get 100 different answers, right? So everybody likes something different. And even it may be somebody that says, I like the crust, then I like the sauce, and then I like a layer of cheese, and then my toppings, and another layer of cheese. And another person may say, well, I don't like all of that. So just know that you have to meet your partner where they are. Don't expect them to fall into the groove of, well, this is what I always do. You know, um, I had this analogy that I wanted to share with y'all. You're building something new in a relationship, but you still say you building a new store, but you come in and you clean the door with a dirty mop and dirty water, so it's gonna start to stink. So you're trying to apply something old to something new, and it doesn't work out that way. So you have to learn your new partner. You have to learn your partner. If you've been together for a while and you don't know your partner, guess what? Time to learn them. I'm going to give you some tips in just a minute to help you do that, to restore and to build intimacy in your relationship. But meet your partner where they are. And you can't do that without talking to them and knowing what it is that they like. But partners, you got to also be open to share that information so that people know exactly what it is that you want. So being open, being able to talk, and even when it's not a comfortable situation, every situation is not going to be comfortable. But it's funny when we go into work, when something's not comfortable, something doesn't feel right, we're still able to articulate that. So be open, and don't just assume, well, if I give my partner flowers and take her out to dinner, she's going to be happy, because that's not what everybody wants. Save your money. You might have to cook that dinner at home. Who knows? But find out what it is that she likes. Um, love languages. So I can't talk about this without about identifying what your partner's needs are without talking about the five love languages. Do you guys know your love language? I want you to share it in the comments. If you know what your love language is, share it in the comments. My love language is quality time, and my husband has always known this, that quality time is very important to me, and he knows what my definition of quality time is. It's not, it may not be what everybody else thinks that it is. And I put it that way because of the fact that my personal view of it may be different than someone else in the past, or what you think is quality time. Some people think because of the fact that uh, they came home, sat down next to them, and ate dinner and went to sleep in the same bed, that's quality time. Not in my view. I see some acts of service, positive affirmations, and quality time. So like I see Vanessa, she said that's effective communication. It is. It's very important in a relationship. People talk about communication, but I like to say that it is communication is very important, but having a dialogue is more important than having communication, because communication is only as good as the recipient receiving the message that was intended. So if I meant to tell you that my favorite color is purple, but it came out as blue, then I didn't let you know what I really meant, right? I know that's a real simple example, but that's what I could think of right now. But I see some more quality time and physical touch. Oh, one person said I hate gifts due to past trauma, and so that may mean that it changes over time, and sometimes your um, love language does change over time. So I encourage people to go to, I can't remember the website, but look up the five love languages and take the free quick test assessment, and then share that, discuss that with your mate, and you have to share it with them so that they know. Nobody's a psychic. If so, what are the lottery numbers? Let me know. Give me the cash free at least if you're a psychic, or if you can read a person's mind. But you have to share, like Carol's saying, you have to know your mate's love language. You share that with them so that they know what it is that you need, know what it is that you want, and that way they can address that. I'm going to talk about this in a different video, but what the way I receive love, I can't give it the same way to my mate, because that's not how he receives love. So if I'm over here trying to spend all of this time with him, and that's not how he receives love, his love tank is not going to be filled. Then I'm not meeting his needs, right? So I have to know what it is, and he has to tell me what it is. I can't guess. We did a fun exercise with couples where we did kind of like the dating game, or the newlywed game, and asked what was their mate's love language. And they, some people had no idea. But it doesn't matter how long you've been married, if or how long you've been in a relationship with a person, you can always learn different things. You can always learn new things. And again, those that changes. I see Deary agrees. It can change. It can change over time. So, you can take the quiz again, but have that discussion so that your mate knows exactly what it is that you need. Um, so that's that. So I want to, like I said, I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk about that one day, and talk about the five love languages and how to apply that. Carol says she wants to play. All right. I'm going to host a Zoom meeting, and we'll have all the couples join us, and we'll have some fun games and conversation. Who's up for that? Give me some likes. Let me know, and I'll put you on the invite list. We have to do it on a uh, virtual party right now because of the time that we're in, but we'll have that one day. So I know that I've talked about a lot. I've shared the five levels of intimacy. I've talked about the four types of intimacy. Felt like we went to school tonight, right? We had to do some studying and shared everything. But I wanted to leave you with some tips. I always tell you what I know, not what I heard. And so, in order to restore or build intimacy in your relationship, this is what my tips are surrounding today. Number one, I see Keith said Zoom and wine. All right, Zoom and wine. I wanted to say, hey, Janet, I see that you're on. Hey, Freddie, I see you're on as well. Um, but the first thing is, I hope y'all got your pens. Recognize your fears. You have to know what you're dealing with, because you have to be able to deal with those things in order to be able to open up. In order to get to level 5, you have to get rid of those things that are blocking you, that are in your way. Because if you have a fear of rejection, just as an example, if you have a fear of rejection, then you're never going to want to let that wall down in order, or open that door, crack that door to allow anybody to get in. So recognize what your fears are. Figure those things out. Seek help. Go to therapy. We've got a couple therapists on with us today. But seek help. Go to a therapist. Get a life coach. They can help you identify those things. that are obstacles. Talk to your partner. Talk to them, let them know what you need, and hey, ask them what it is that they need. I think last week it was that I talked about having a weekly check-in with your partner, so they know, so that you have questions and that there's dialogue back and forth, rather than, oh, it was a hailstorm out in Gwinnett County today. How are the kids doing? Oh, got to pay the mortgage this week. So to be able to engage in some conversation and have an opportunity to open up and have an open dialogue about needs, because nobody can guess at what it is that you need. And then when you ask questions, be ready for the answer, meaning ready by listening, not formulating your response, not preparing to be judgmental or defensive. Listen to your partner, because when you've asked them, I want to know what it is that you need. How can I help you? Whatever it is the that you need, I want to fulfill those things, and listen to them and be open to receive that information and to apply it. Remember, I said every woman and man, they ain't the same. So the mold that you've already fixed may be different with the person that you're with. So assess that so that you can find out what it is that your significant other likes. And then the third thing, be open to trying something new. Trying something new. Um, and as in, hey, we've never ridden bikes together. Maybe we should go and rent bikes and ride the Silver Comet Trail. That's far. Or we've never put together a puzzle together. It could be something simple. I mean, we're still quarantined. What are some of the things that you can do with your mate? Hey, give some suggestions so that we can learn from each other. But find things that you can do together. Find things that and discover things that you like to do. Pinterest is my friend. I'm already always shouting out Pinterest. I find everything from recipes on there. My husband's not a cook, but he helped me prepare pizzas the other week. And, it was an activity. And, it was something that we did together. So come up with things that you all can do. Be open to trying something new. Be open to listening to your mate so that you can learn more about them. As always, I thank you so much for your time. I don't take it lightly that you invite me into your homes Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern every week. I appreciate your participation, your comments. Please like, share, and post. Publix cooking class, I like it. I like it, Carol. Wait till this quarantine is over. I'm excited. We're going to try that. But please like, share, and post this video. Share it with a friend. Include them in the tag them in the next live that I'm going live on Thursday. If you have any ideas, please don't hesitate to share them with me. Please like this page, Miss Counsel. I'm so excited that what was it, yesterday, reached 202 followers. So I reached 200 followers. I was very excited about that. So that's because of you guys going out here and sharing this video. I appreciate all of the watch parties. So thank you so much. I'm Miss Counsel signing off for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. And I will see you right here again. Different background, different shirt. But right here at 8 p.m. on Thursday. Thank you so much. You be blessed and have a good night.